I don't even know where to begin. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I should speak slower. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this shit. You see the title and no, this isn't clickbait. Wouldn't be crazy if it was though. Like, haha, gotcha. I didn't publish a book. I did. Where's my stack? I've kept this shit out. Let me show you my stack. I've kept this stack of shit out from my little tote of writing stuff for probably 2 months. And I'm ready to show you everything so that I can put it back. I know you're wondering, how did this even start? So I never really talked about this on my channel, really ever. But one of my favorite hobbies of all time is writing. And I vividly remember when I was like 5 or 6 years old, sitting in my dad's office writing a stories. And then not too long after that, I got really into writing like plays and like screenwriting and stuff. So I did that for a while. I also got into writing songs and stuff when I was, I think, 11 or 12. I still write songs to this day, just not as often as I used to. Going back to the screenwriting, I used to write TV shows, and one of them was called Zach and Zoe, and it was basically a Temu version of Zoe 101 because at the time I was obsessed with watching that show. So I thought, let me make my own version of Zoe 101, except my main characters sing and dance and write songs. So it's kind of like Austin and Ally and Zoe 101 put together, but a very cheaply made version, if that makes sense. I still have all this, by the way. I still have all the scripts that I wrote for that TV show. Basically, throughout my childhood, I wrote a lot. Whatever involved writing, I probably did. I probably wrote. But it was mainly plays / screenwriting, songs, and stories. And then once I hit the ripe age of 14, I decided to take writing stories seriously. I came up with a specific plot, or I guess storyline. I don't know if I want to talk about it just yet, but I'm still kind of working on it. I rewrote this specific story multiple times because the older I get, the more advanced my writing gets, and I want to add more elements and stuff. But yeah, at 14, I started basically writing seriously. I took it more serious than I ever have. And then once I hit high school, my freshman year, my second semester, I had a creative writing class. And in that class, I believe it was midterms or a final project. I don't remember. But I had a 4,000 word story assignment project. And that is where the storyline for this was born. In my notes, I wrote, that project started the entirety of what is unfortunately, known as my only published teen fiction novel, Eyes of the Heart. In parentheses, don't ask me what the title means. I have no idea. I don't think I was coherent when I came up with it. I do remember I was on the bus on the way to school at like 6 a.m. on a Tuesday or something, and my brain just thought of Eyes of the Heart. The title honestly kind of cringes me the fuck out, but the entirety of the book cringes me out. For some reason, my creative writing teacher, I'm not going to say his name out of privacy, but for some reason, he really loved the story. Actually, hold on, wait a damn minute. I have the rough draft of my published book. So this rough draft is what I sent to my teacher. This was the project, basically. It's horrendous. I can't read this without wanting to crack open some kind of wine or whiskey or something. And I don't like drinking, so that says a lot. Anyway, for some reason, he really liked it. And the summer of 2017, which was the summer after freshman year, I sat and I hand wrote the entirety of it. I rewrote the story. And I'm not lying, I rewrote it. The green one is the first half of the book, the blue one is the second half of the book. I kept every single thing from writing that. This is the binder that I store my shit in. I'm not going to show you everything just because I don't want you to see some things. Not that it's like smut or anything, but I just... Are you fucking good? Anyway. Yeah, so basically I sat and I rewrote everything during the summer of 2017. Now, I know what you're thinking. How did you get this shit published? That's a very good question. I actually wasn't planning on publishing it at all. I do remember, I think sometime in 2018, I was kind of looking at publishers just to be nosy, and I did find one. I lied, early 2019 I was looking at publishers. The first one that I stumbled upon was Dorrance Publishing, and I vividly remember that the upfront cost for just starting to publish it was like $2,000, I think, or $7,000. That's a lot. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So between the summer of 2017 to early 2019, I sat and I typed up basically everything in those notebooks onto my iPad or my laptop or my computer, something. I typed it on something and I sat and I edited it for about 2 years, which I feel like did a lot more damage than good, because the amount of typos in this book, don't mind this is my paperback copy. The amount of typos in this book is a lot. But I vividly remember in the publishing process, I wasn't allowed to make more than like 100 corrections, which was kind of fucking stupid. Going back to looking for publishers, after Dorrance Publishing, I just kind of quit looking around. And then I believe May 2019, I had a dream where I got this book published, and I can't remember what the publisher said in the dream. He basically said like my characters need time to develop or something like that, and homie was right. I think not too long after that, I discovered Balboa Press, which is a division of Hay House Publications. The entirety of publishing this book was a little over $2,000 that my parents thankfully paid for. So thank you, Mom and Dad, even though I know they're not watching my videos, because why would they? I first emailed my manuscript to one of the employees that work at Balboa. I think her name was Barbara. Anyway, I emailed my manuscript to her. She loved it, and then she wanted to go through the process of publishing it. So the past few months, basically the entirety of summer 2019, I spent finishing editing this and getting it published, sending emails back and forth, looking over everything, looking over the cover, which I don't know if you can tell, it's me. The bitch on the cover is me, and if you want to know what the fuck I'm holding, it's my dad's firefighter coat, because my dad's a retired firefighter now, but when I did this, when I took this picture, he was still a firefighter. And the reason why I chose a firefighter coat, because the character Raylan, that's her, this is so weird to talk about. My character Raylan, she's the main character, she wants to be a firefighter, but I don't really mention that whatsoever in the first several chapters of the book, and even the description, I don't mention that whatsoever. Also, you can't even tell that it's a fire. You can't tell what the fuck this is. You can't. Basically, I spent the entirety of the summer of 2019 getting this fuck-ass book published. By July 15, 2019, I officially got this shit published. This became a thing. I'm not gonna sit here and downplay like, oh, like it's whatever. It truly is a huge deal. But in my mind, I've never really made up in my mind that, hey, you have a book. You published it, people can buy this. Don't buy it. Don't buy it, please. I would probably say within a year, I slowly but surely discovered that I would not get much profit off this book, because my publishing company lied to me about how much I would get back.
Editing me here, they didn't lie, I just didn't really fully read the contract, because at 17 I was just more excited about getting a book published than reading the contract. So basically, I think they said, from what I read in the contract now, is I would get up to 50% profit. It depended on, like, third-party sales, and, like, if someone bought my book and sold it, or if I don't know, it's a lot, it's very complicated, but they didn't lie, I just didn't read the contract fully. And I guess they technically didn't really scam me. They did, but they didn't. I'll talk about more why I think they did later in the video. But yeah, basically I just didn't read my contract like I should have.
But basically, yeah, I wasn't getting what I was promised as far as profit, as far as I know. And basically with how many copies I sold the first year, I should have made at least $300, and I made probably 60, which is better than nothing, but still. So that's a little fishy. So basically you're up to speed of how the existence of this came to be. Now I know what you're thinking. Did people in your high school find out? Yes, of course. You know who told them? Because I had no clue. I had no idea how the fuck many people found out, because I wasn't popular And I sure as hell didn't market this. I didn't market this book whatsoever. Daniel started telling people. My boyfriend, my current boyfriend, started telling people. How did he find out? I told his best friend in high school, and his best friend told Daniel. So that's how Daniel found out, and then he decided to tell me. Anyway, my parents also told a few of their friends. I also surprised, so by this point in time, this was my senior year, and I surprised my creative writing teacher a copy of this. I bought it with my own money, and I gave him a copy. I hope he didn't read it.
I hope he didn't read it!
I hate thinking about this. By the way, I would say Daniel was pretty popular in high school. And the other thing about Daniel in high school was that he was a part of a broadcasting team that our school had. It was called DCTV. It's Decatur Central TV or something like that. Basically, they did like live stuff. They mainly did live football games and stuff. And so Daniel was a part of that. And I'm pretty sure that he might have been the reason why I got an interview with DCTV, which I'll tell you about that in a second. Basically, yeah, within a month, a good chunk of people found out. So I don't have the original video of the interview that I did. It was uploaded to Facebook, but the only video that I have of that interview is a video that I have that's re-edited by me to make it funnier because it was... The thought of that interview makes my blood pressure skyrocket. That is how horrible it was. The main reason why it was so bad, in my opinion, was because I couldn't keep my eyes on the camera to save my life because I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera like I am now. And I didn't start filming videos or any of that until like several months later. It was so horrible. Of course, after a few months, the attention died down and I felt better. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, the reason why I didn't get paid as much as I should have was because I would not get any profit from a third-party company like Amazon. And my book was uploaded. I don't know the word for that, but basically you could buy my book off Amazon, and that's where a lot of my sales, that's where a lot of people bought my book from. And so basically the only way I would get profit is if you bought my book off of the website, the Balboa Press website. They kind of did scam me the slightest bit by putting my book on Amazon, knowing that I wouldn't get paid from it and knowing that a lot of people do shop on Amazon, so that's a little fishy. But other than that, they did give me my book. It wasn't like I paid them and they never gave me shit. They did give me my book. They also gave me quite a few goodies with it. So along with the book, they gave me a business card, a bookmark. Well, hold on. They gave me a gigantic stack of business cards, bookmarks, and postcards. So, and I still have a shit ton of these to this day. I've given a bunch of people this, like a little collection of this. Other than that, they really didn't scam me. Like, I kind of made it up in my head, if that makes sense. I did get a book out of it. I got this stuff out of it. Basically, at the end of the day, I got a book out of it. Even though it's kind of absolute shit, I still got a book out of it. So basically, what I have been up to since I published this monstrosity of a book. So I'm so upset because I mentioned this in my quarter one recap video that you'll never get to see now unless I decide to refilm it, which I don't want to do that. Anyway, I'm kind of sad that you won't be able to hear a little snippet of this because obviously it got deleted, but I talked a little bit about what I've been up to in that video about my books really. Let's go back to my stack of shit, shall we? So, I think, was it 2018? I believe in 2018, maybe 2019, I started writing the sequel to it.
Editing me here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop in and explain this because editing this is stressing me out. So, this notebook. I wrote the sequel in this notebook in like 2018, 2019. And then I decided that I didn't like it, so I decided to rewrite it in this notebook. And in the middle of writing the sequel in this notebook, I came up with a plot twist that would change the course of the storyline. So then, I decided to rewrite the sequel again on my computer, or I don't remember, iPad computer. I wrote it on something. So then, either I think halfway or 2/3 into editing that, I decided I wanted to make the entire book into first person and stretch it into 3 different books.
Basically, I turned this into a first-person female protagonist trilogy. I never mentioned this is in third person. Anyway, yeah, so basically from 2022 to 2024, I worked on the trilogy. I basically start to finish without editing it here and there. Yeah, so I wrote the trilogy within 2.5, maybe 3 years. And since I finished the trilogy, I've been editing it. I've been going back in and editing it. The past few weeks, I've been busy editing that also, working on something else. Because I didn't just write the trilogy, no. I decided, what if I made a fourth book that's kind of a year, maybe 2 years after the third book ends, with different perspectives? Because I'm simply just not done with my characters yet. I really love them. So that's what I've been doing. So I started working on the fourth book in the beginning of March. That's a lot of the reason why I haven't been posting many videos, because of that. But I've been trying to multitask between that and YouTube. So basically the trilogy plus a fourth book is significantly better than this. And I cannot wait to maybe publish those. That would be very fun. Or maybe even like turn them into a movie. That'd be really cool. That'd be so cool. My inner theater kid would absolutely love that. So now I kind of want to talk about where I stand with this book right now. The first few years after I published it, I absolutely hated it. I still kind of do. But the older I get, the more I kind of understand that it has potential, and that I was also 15 when I wrote it and 17 when I published it. So you can't expect a 15 to 17-year-old be like Emily Henry or something. Some of the dramatic scenes in this book were so intense for no reason. I also remember this book having a lot more scenes that regard to like things you see in movies, like two characters disagreed and like they're... And my notes were, as much as reading it makes me want to pull my hair out and drink a bottle of whiskey. And apologize to everyone who spent their hard-earned money and time on this book. It has potential to be something a lot better than what it is. I agree with that for sure. So, if some way, somehow, you're interested in buying it, I'm not going to gatekeep that from you. I will have in the description the links to both the Balboa Press website and Amazon if you want to purchase this book. I highly recommend you don't, because I simply, if somebody commented that they read this book, I think I would cry and open a bottle of whiskey. If somehow, someway you want to read this book, even though I don't recommend it, but I can't control what you do, I will have the links down below. The paperback copy is $22.99 before taxes, and the hardback copy is $39.95 before taxes. And also, the ebook, if you're really interested in reading this monstrosity without wanting to pay a shit ton of money, get the ebook. It's $3.99. I personally don't care if you buy it off Amazon if you're that interested. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. I simply don't care about getting profit from this book. If I had like another book that I was more proud of, then it'd be a different story, but that's not for this. If you don't want to buy this book whatsoever, I do not blame you. Don't waste your money. I think I would rather recommend Happy Place by Emily Henry than this book. Sorry! My note says, if somehow you're interested in buying the book, first of all, are you okay? Second of all, you're so sweet. I apologize in advance for what you're signing up for. Yeah. So that's all I have to say about this. About the entirety of this. I hope editing this doesn't make me want to pull my hair out the way reading this does. Also, please don't ask me what the title's about. I don't have an idea. I don't know. I truly don't really know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, you're so cool and iconic, and I love you so much, especially listening me ranting about this fuck-ass book. And if you do end up buying my book some way, somehow, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm so very sorry for what you're about to partake in. I never told you what this book is about either. I don't even know what it's about.
Editing me again just to explain what this book is about, because I never actually told you. So basically, my character Raylan, she originally lived in Chicago, Illinois her whole life, and then right before her junior year of high school started, she moved to Paris, Illinois with her parents because her dad, and ironically enough, her boyfriend's dad work at the same company for their jobs and got moved over to a different plant in Paris, Illinois. I don't know. I don't think I thought this through whenever I came up with that detail. Anyway, so basically Raylan and her family and her boyfriend's family are living in Paris, Illinois now. And the very beginning of her junior year of high school, the very first day of school actually, her boyfriend breaks up with her, which is sad, and then she finds out why later on, which is truly heartbreaking. And then because I was a very dramatic teenager, I decided to make my character Raylan and her twin brother Brayden find out some shocking news in the middle of the book, all while Raylan is trying to basically fight for her mom's approval to be a firefighter. I don't know, I was making something out of nothing when I came up with this book.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all healing, healthy, and thriving. I love you all so very much, and I will see you in the next video. That's not this. Bye.